Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I'm your reader, Jay. These are going to be mid-April messages for the sign of Virgo. What's going on, Virgo? I hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything in your life is going swimmingly. Alright, guys, I came back with these mid-April readings after first doing them back in March. So if you're a returning viewer, welcome. If you're a new viewer, welcome as well. And if you've been here before, you kind of already know the drill. I've saved time and I've shuffled off camera, so that's your main spread for the mid-months right there. What I'm going to do now is shuffle for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. You can look down in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Now, a bunch of things just fell out of my hand. Let's take a look. Devil, King of Wands, and the Tower. So some of you might be dealing with a Capricorn, Tower energy, or an Aries, perhaps. King of Wands energy in the middle. So, something to do with like temptation and like being stuck to something, particularly maybe a fire sign for you, Virgo. And there's just like this, it's a little bit of an attachment. I don't want to call this toxic, but there's like an attachment to a King of Wands type character that might not be so good. Or you and this King of Wands character might be headed together towards a Tower moment, okay? Just a little something quickly because, as I said, that flipped out of my hand. Let's start this spiel all over again, shall we? All right, so in the description box, I'm going to put the timestamp down there if you want to jump ahead to when the reading actually begins. I don't blame you. You can totally do that. It's all good. Also down there, you'll find the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. Right now, that price is set to $25. And the reading usually lasts about 40-45 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. And if you want to save yourself money, I would suggest you order that reading soon. Because once June comes around, the price for that is going to go up. And I will be introducing 2 different types of readings that I offer to the channel. So if you just want to save yourself money and you've been thinking about working with me, I would suggest just going ahead and purchasing the reading soon. Otherwise, like I said, the price will go up in June, okay? All right, Virgos, let's go ahead and get you guys an outcome for mid-April, please, okay? Mid-April outcome for Virgo, please. Mid-April outcome for Virgo. Oh, nice. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. All right, and let's flip everything over and see what's going on here. What? Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I've not seen that many reversals in such a small spread in a long time. All right, let's figure this thing out then, shall we? And lots of majors. Virgo, what's going on with you? Oh boy, let's figure this out, shall we? Please show me Virgo's prominent energy in mid-April 2019. Mid-April 2019 prominent energies for Virgo, please. Okay, thank you. All right, coming into mid-April, Virgo, you come in with the 8 of Wands in reverse. I'll show you this card upright so you can become used to it. So, for you guys, Virgo, right now, and as you leave the month of April, I'm feeling that, your intentions, your desires, what you're kind of aiming for, like archery, like I'm actually seeing an archer. What you're aiming at, hoping to hit a target on, I feel like it's going to be a miss, my friends. I feel like it's going to be a miss. I feel that there's just certain things that aren't going to plan or aren't working out the way you had hoped or the way that you had wished. And it's all due to, well, not all due to, but there's a heavy emphasis they're putting on your desires and your intention and what you're, like an archer kind of shooting off into the sky or shooting out towards a target. And, I did say a miss, and I do feel many of you will miss the target, but I think maybe given, Virgo, you tend to be not a perfectionist, but you do like things to be sort of fall in line with what you expect. And so diverging from what you expect can be troublesome for you, can be kind of bothersome to you. But And of course, with the Eight of Wands, we're sometimes talking about communication, right? Messages going back and forth between you and another person, or you and other people. So there might be some missteps. There might be some misunderstandings in terms of your communication around this time. And I'm just feeling like, I don't want to say disappointed, because I think you also kind of are expecting it, Virgo. It's like you're taking a shot, you're making your statement, you're like declaring yourself, or you're making statements, you're making requests, and you know in the back of your mind it could be denied, you could be rejected, you could get a no, you could get like a halfway no, something like that. So you're kind of already prepared for the worst. So I think that's good. But it doesn't stop you from trying, and I wouldn't discourage you. I think that even when we know the odds are against us, it's best to take your shot. You know what I mean? Shoot your shot. You know, so I think you're in that energy of shooting your shot, even though you know it might come up as a goose egg. Okay. That sucks, because, you know, when you shoot your shot, everybody wants to be successful. We all know logically through probability that there's a chance that we might not, you know, accomplish what we want to accomplish. But it sucks when I feel it like so heavily in a reading. It's just like, well, you can try, but I don't know about that. So I think, you know, I don't want to discourage you from trying. I don't want to discourage you from reaching out. I don't want to discourage you from having certain conversations or contact points in your job or within your friend circle, your family circle, wherever this is going to hit for you. I think you should go through with it. And to be honest, I get the feeling like nobody could persuade you anyway. I don't think you're open to persuasion right now. I think you're being very self-contained and self-controlled, you know? So other people might be advising you, hey, Virgo, maybe we shouldn't have this discussion right now, or maybe you should change some of your expectations, whatever people are advising you to do, or whatever, you know, you're not even soliciting advice, but people are just offering up their 2 cents, and you're just like, I don't care what you have to say. You are not taking on board anybody's opinions, really. And I think it's because you have next door to where you start this Seven of Wands, right? So Seven of Wands traditionally in the tarot talks about a defensive position, you know, kind of coming up against the odds and coming up against adversity and feeling like, you know, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet, and I'm not going to be taken down easily. I'm going to go down with a fight. And, you know, of course, now we're just looking at a damn toilet with a bunch of toothbrushes. So there's a slightly different take here, where I think there's a certain image in your mind of what your goal is, Virgo, whether that's in work, your home life, your school, a relationship, whatever. There's an ideal that you're after. And Virgo, per your archetype, per your personality type, you would be the type. I've met many Virgos. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm surrounded by Virgos, so I know you guys through and through. And I know many of you are like this. I don't want to say perfectionist, because I don't think that's all Virgos. I don't think all Virgos are perfectionists, but there is usually one facet of your life where all the details matter, every little thing counts, you don't miss a step, you don't let little, you know, nothing is inconsequential. You know what I mean? Everything is accounted for. So there's like a controlling aspect there. So if this is home life, let's say, and you live with family or roommates or whatever, you might communicate to the people that you live with, listen, the bills around here are kind of getting haywire. They're, you know, we're spending more than we're bringing in, or we're spending more than we need to. We need to save more for the kids' tuition for college, or we need to save more because we're trying to go on that vacation to Maui, whatever it is. So you take the reins, you take the financial reins, let's just say, just as an example, right? And you lay down a budget for your family, for your friends, whoever you're living with. This is what we're spending our money on. This is how much we're capping things off at. And every week or every month or every 2 weeks, whenever you deposit money into whatever account, it has to be this much coming from you, this much coming from me, this much coming from the other person, etc., right? So then people stick with that plan for a while, and then maybe somebody deviates, or maybe somebody can't make a payment, or can't contribute as much to the bills as they did last month. So you go and you have a talk with them. And you say, listen, we agreed however long ago that we were going to stick to this plan that I've engineered. That's the key part here, Virgo. Whatever you're discussing, it's from your mouth, okay? Whatever is the hiccup here, or whatever is the hinge point, the central theme that's being addressed, you created it, okay? So this is where you're super defensive about it. So I set out this budget that satisfies all of our goals, all of the things that we all agreed to do. You fell out of line with that. So what are we going to do to rectify it going forward? And you may or may not come up against resistance. That's besides the point. You're being... Some of you, I mean, you're all different people, right? So some of you will be hard-assed about it. Like, you're going to go in and throw all the hammers down. All the gauntlets will fall down. And it's going to be World War III if somebody steps out of line of your plan. Others of you, you'll go in, you'll be a lot more gentler, you'll be a lot more compassionate, and you'll try to find a compromise. But regardless, there's an adherence to something that you're on board with, because it's your plan and it fits your needs and your desires and your goals. And other people are like, about it. Some people are on board, some people are half-assing it, and some people are just flat out giving you a no, I'm not down for this anymore, or I've never been down for that. I didn't technically agree, but you went ahead and did it anyway. You steamrolled me, Virgo. Some of you might be getting into that. And so back to what I was originally going to say about the imagery of this, is that with this cheesy pink toilet, which I remember growing up, there were plenty of pink toilets in my friends' houses and my relatives' houses, but anyway, and being like detailed and cleaned with toothbrushes, right? You, again, in your mind, have a certain goal that is bordering perfect. We'll say that. It's bordering perfect. If all these things go to plan, this is going to be the shiniest toilet this side of the Mississippi, right? But you can't account for other people's involvement. You can't account for other people's efforts, what they're committed to. And so now we have an issue. If it was all up to you, Virgo, if you could, like that movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, if you could clone yourself to assure that things went to plan, you would. And things would work out well. But we're talking about different people here. And so I'm just feeling like it's going to miss in some form or fashion, to some degree. It's going to be a miss for you. But you're prepared. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Maybe you've made some assurances. Maybe you have like a separate nest egg set aside for when somebody slips up and doesn't bring their portion towards the bills or towards the vacation fund to the table. You're like, well, I knew that was going to happen, so then you cover the cost. Whatever this is, you're prepared for it. Now, what I think is going on with all these majors is the universe is trying to tell you something, okay? Or if you love the color purple like I do, God is trying to tell you something. I love that. So anyway, so I think you're being encouraged to take a lesson out of whatever is going on in your mundane life. Mundane as in not boring, but mundane as in like every day. Like sometimes there are lessons in the little things. So what do we have? Hangman, reverse, chair. Which one? Yes, thank you. So with this Hangman reversed, I'll show you upright so you can see it. I mean, I think I was led to choose this deck for a reason, because a lot of you, this is like your domestic space, your home life, your family life, your partners, or your relationship with your romantic partners, whatever speaks to home for you is probably the theme here. Even if you live alone, it's still a theme for you here. Now, the Hangman, that's what it looks like in the upright, but you got it in reverse. And let me tell you, I just love this deck. It's so freaking hilarious. Like, that is... It's not your energy. The Hangman is a secondary card of Pisces. So you might have a Pisces of importance in your life, Virgo, but it does not have to be. But the image of this woman, let me show you again, being like so enamored with her own chores and hanging up this little man, perhaps her shrunken husband, you know, I hate to say it, but like, I think of Virgos like that. Like domestic goddesses or gods if you're a male, right? But the really great homemakers. And I don't want to like, I'm such a feminist, so I'm not trying to make this political, but it really is the home, and making it work, making it comfortable is very important to you. And with the Hangman coming up in reverse for you, you struggle to relax. You struggle to relinquish control. Okay? When the Hangman is in the upright position, that is an acceptance of receiving, an acceptance of taking hands off the wheel. Yeah? The Hangman, when in the upright position, encourages you to just receive and relax and become more open, like broaden your, not your horizons, but your vision, your scope of vision needs to become broader. So let's say you have 30 degrees of vision. The Hangman, if it was in the upright for you, would take that 30 and turn it into a 90% angle, 90 degree angle. And then turn that 90 into a 180 degree angle, and so on and so forth, until you are able to see more of the landscape than you could ever really sort of ingest in one sitting, something like that. But you got it in reverse, Virgo. So you're not wanting to relax. You're not wanting to let go of control. You are very much interested in knowing what's going on at all times, who's involved, where they're going, what are they bringing to the table, etc., etc., etc. This is in this position, this is active. And when, again, in the upright, the Hangman is not active. That man on the line, he's not going anywhere. He's hung up. You can't do anything when you're strung up on a line, or your leg is tied to a tree, or whatever, if you think about the traditional depiction of this card. And like I was saying before, the fact that it's come as a major arcana goes in partnership with the wands, because the wands are fire sign energy, right? Or fire element energies, yeah? So quick moving, very dynamic, very as impulsive as you could be, Virgo. So take it with a grain of salt. Impulsive behavior. Hangman compiled with that is not encouraging. It's showing to me that you are just trying to stay on top of this thing. And I think you would be best to leave it alone, or take it down a step, take it down a notch or two. Okay? If you can't release control completely, if you can't relax, if you can't let people make their own beds and lie in them, okay? So back to the bills. Okay, maybe not the bills, but let's say the vacation fund, because people need to pay their bills. And if people are like, not paying, well, that's the thing. I'm gonna do it 2 times. So for the vacation fund, if someone's not putting in for the family vacation, if they're not saving their money, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's a cousin, something like that, I don't know, and they haven't put anything towards the fund, guess what? They're not going. I can't leave my 6-year-old at home. The hell you can't. I mean, literally, you probably should not leave your small child home alone for a vacation. It's a fun 90s movie, but really, it's not a good idea in the real world. But if we're talking about someone who's an adult, or even a teenager who's supposed to be saving money so that they have money to spend on the vacation, if they're not saving their money, guess what? You don't get any spending money when we go down to Maui. You just don't. You want to go out? You want to rent a moped or rent whatever and do whatever fun shit? No, you're not. You're going to stay your ass in that hotel room. So, and then flipping it back to the bills thing. For some of you, maybe children, maybe your adult children, maybe your roommates, maybe friends, are not accountable with their cash. So you've covered them. You cover them for dinner bills. You cover them for their cell phone bill, whatever. And that takes away from you, yeah? Because you're in control. You're trying to remain in control. If you just step back, relax, and let it be whatever it's going to be, even if it's to the detriment of someone else, you know, pardon my French, but fuck them. You know? So I feel that you're wanting to be helpful, but at the expense of yourself. And that's not going to be helpful to you in the long run. It feels fine now. You feel better knowing like your plan is coming to fruition. Okay, so we needed the fund for the vacation, or we needed the bills account to have $500 balance in it at all times. Maybe that's a goal of yours. Maybe someone came in $100 short and you're like, okay, listen, I'm going to put the $100 in. We have the 500. And then you breathe a sigh, you let out a sigh of relief. But at your expense, at the expense of your own dollars, or at your own wallet. You know what I mean? So in the long run, is that really helpful? Relax. Let other people deal with their responsibilities and their obligations. I hate to circle this around money because, number one, there aren't any pentacles on the board anyway. But that's kind of where they're drawing me, is towards something domestic, something in the home where you're covering somebody else's ass. And that act itself puts your ass on the line in some kind of way. Okay? Chariot in reverse. So, given that we've talked a lot about vacation, this is a card of travel. But it's in reverse. So, you know, and I did say things are coming up amiss. And this comes right above that 8 of Wands position. So for some of you, I hate to say it, maybe the vacation won't happen. You know, maybe you don't have that extra $100 to put in the pot. And then you plan to take this vacation in May or June or something. And now you don't have the money. So guess what? You're not going. That's upsetting. That sucks. I totally get it. But again, there's a lesson here for you, Virgo. And I don't want to reduce it to something like so cliche as, I feel like there's a cliched saying or some type of proverb or something like that where the tighter you hold on to something, I feel like it's something to do with a bird. Like if you hold tightly onto a bird, you'll cripple it and it'll never fly or something like that. I can't remember. But that's how I'm feeling this. You want something so badly that all of your effort, all of your trying, all of your micromanaging of the situation is going to derail it. It's going to delay it. It's going to, in some cases, for maybe a few of you, destroy it. Okay? And when you have the Chariot in reverse, not only is that saying, you know, travel plans are canceled or delayed or, you know, somehow come into some type of hiccup, it also just generally talks about things being out of your control. The plans and the route that you set for yourself is not the way it's going to happen. It just can't. You have no control. And next to that Hangman in reverse, again, we have this resistance against not being in control. I go back to my point, my anecdotal point of, and this is not, number one, I've been in like my own little hermit mode lately, so I don't really know what's going on with all the Virgos in my life, but I know that many of them, if not all of them, to some degree, have issue with letting go and not controlling. It's hard for them. You guys are like the little helpers. You're like, you can't help yourselves but to be involved and to try to be helpful towards other people. It's a great attribute to have. I benefit from it many a times, okay? But what I'm sensing here is you're doing it so much and you're so amped up and fired up and attached to a result or a goal or a vision that you are, it's a detriment how much you want this thing. And you're not letting it happen organically. You're trying to engineer this thing from start to finish. You have a planned itinerary from start to finish of how this thing is supposed to be. And I'm letting you know, the more you want it, or not even the more you want it, but the more you try to micromanage and be in every single detail and be in every single situation or circumstance that deals with whatever your goal is, nah, you got to back up off that. Your outcome for mid-April, I almost said May, I think. So maybe this will play out in May for you guys. But you have the Fool card. So listen, this is good. Maybe some of you, this reading and other readings or little things that you kind of have wake-up calls for or realizations on your own about, clues you into this. The Fool card takes risks, okay? The Fool card, as you can see, isn't very much interested in preparedness, itineraries, plans, schedules. This woman rushing out the door or rushing wherever, rushing down the roof of her house and all that stuff flying out of her purse. This woman is a mess. And some of you, this is like a horrible sight. Oh my God, look at all those things flying out of her bag. But I hope you've understood what I feel that you're being encouraged to do, again, because of these major arcanas, from the universe, from God, from spirit, from whatever you believe in or don't believe in. Let go. Loosen that grip, my friend. Okay? The Fool has no plans. The Fool barely has a goal. The Fool has a destination. That road over there, or that road over there. Like, that's about it. But the Fool doesn't intend to have a certain outcome. The Fool doesn't need to know when they're leaving or who's going with them or what to expect on the road. They just know, I'm leaving. I'm going this place. I'm going that way or whatever. And the unknown is the most certain thing that the Fool is aligned with. Whatever happens will happen. What are you expecting down that road, Fool? Oh, I don't know. And that's the answer that the Fool wants. That's the answer that the Fool is most aligned with and most pleased by. Okay. Fool card also, Uranus energy. So secondary card of Aquarius. You might have Aquarius in your life of importance. And the Chariot assigned to Cancer. You might have a Cancer in your life, but no sign that I've mentioned today, other than yours, is significant. It doesn't have to be, I should say. Now, the image of this, let me see, what else is on here? She's got like perfumes, makeup, wallet, wedding rings, lipstick, and she has her hands in gloves. So, it's kind of like, given that we were talking a lot about vacation and travel, I feel like maybe, not to say this is what you should do, but maybe if you were planning like a big trip, family trip or group of friends or with you and your spouse, whoever, and you planned a big trip, but those plans fall through somehow, I think you could quickly substitute like a weekend getaway. Maybe you wanted to go to Hawaii, maybe you were trying to go cross country or to another country, whatever. For whatever reason, things fall apart and that plan doesn't come to fruition. Fine. Plan another trip around the same time. A smaller trip, one that's closer to home, one that maybe doesn't cost as much money, and still go. And that could be sort of like your training wheels of letting go, of control, Virgo. You didn't plan it months in advance. Maybe you've planned it weeks in advance, okay? Or days. Ooh, God forbid, days in advance. And it's, you go to, a state or a town over, whatever, to a local beach, something like that. And you go. You don't have any plans. You didn't Yelp anything. You didn't look at TripAdvisor. You didn't ask friends. You just go. Just go. Just do it. Yeah? See what happens. Go down. I mean, don't be a total nut. Don't be a total fool. Show up looking like, a rube, looking like, you just got off the Greyhound bus and welcome, this is New York City. No, Not saying to do all of that. Have some mindfulness about you. Have some consciousness about you, okay? If you go to a place you've never been before, a place that you didn't plan on going, but seems like it could have some stuff that you want to do. So if whatever you've planned to do here doesn't work out, you can substitute something in that's a little more, shoot from the hip. It doesn't have to be planned down to a T. It doesn't have to be so rigorous or rigid, okay? Your overall for the month, and then you got another major right behind that. Jeez, you're being influenced heavily. Your overall for the month is the Empress card, ruled by Venus, so you might have a Taurus or a Libra of significance in your life, but like I said, it doesn't have to be. Now, the Empress, she's well-to-do. She's... I never use this word in real life, but they put it in my head, flawless. She's flawless. So I get the sense that this is something that not that you, Virgo, are aiming to be flawless, but maybe you're perceived to be flawless. And the thing about the Empress is, I think, from her perspective on the inside of her gates, of her palace, of her garden, she feels and perceives herself to be very normal. This is my everyday life. This is just what I do. I'm abundant. I have a good job. I've got stability. I've got money. I've got nice clothes. I have great sex. I have love to give. I'm a wonderful mother. All these things. And it's not ego. I'm just listing things that she perceives herself to be. And she also perceives it to be, but I work for it. I earned it. I put in my best efforts, and this is the result that I have. Everything that you see in my life is a reflection of my efforts, okay? From the outside, I feel others are viewing you as flawless. Other people are looking at you and they're like, oh man, I don't want to disappoint Virgo, or this thing I have to do, or this thing that I'm not able to do is going to disappoint Virgo. And they are either intimidated by you, they are annoyed at you. Some of them, they've got their own confidence issues, and that turns into, I don't know who Virgo thinks they are anyway, but, like that green on monster shit, right? The discrepancy here is that the person or people on the outside who are viewing you in this light of flawlessness, of perfection. Number one, nobody's perfect. So they forgot that lesson, which we all should have been taught by our mothers or learned in, elementary school. Nobody's perfect, right? But the hitch here is, in all of her abundance, the Empress is never shallow. She's never unavailable to help others. And again, that's an attribute of yours. That's a virtue of yours that can sometimes get you into trouble, Libra. I think this Empress here is to remind you that even if you let go of control here and here, even if you take risks over here with the Fool, and even if things don't go to plan down here with your 2 Wands cards, you still are who you are. You're still abundant. You're still supportive. You're still self-sufficient. You are still this Empress energy. Don't think that because this thing didn't work out the way that you wanted, it means your whole life or your whole position as a person of virtue is now flushed down the toilet. No. No, no, no. So I kind of wish the Temperance card had come out for you a little bit, because I feel that's what this is. You don't want to go too far into being somebody's rock, being the person who steps up when they can't carry their own load, when they can't take care of their own responsibilities. And you also don't want to go to the extreme other side of things and leave people feeling abandoned and leave people feeling as if you don't care about them. There is a nice balance in the middle, and I think the Empress is here to reflect that back to you. You're still going to be that person, even if you kind of let go of some of your control and you loosen up a little bit, okay? Virgo, that is your mid-April reading. Did you like it? If you did, you might not know the drill, but for those who have been here before, you know the drill. If you liked it, hit the like button. You can leave comments down below. I'd love to read about how these readings resonate with you guys. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. I would appreciate it. And of course, the big red button down there, the subscribe button. Click it. Also hit the notification bell. That way you know when I upload new videos. I'm going to be back in a few weeks and doing your May readings. And also before then, I'm probably going to do a random video or two. Probably at least one, maybe two if I was like super productive, but probably not. So if you want to stay on top of all that kind of stuff and come back and see me and be notified on your YouTube page and through the app and everything like that, make sure that you're subscribed, okay? All right, Virgo, I appreciate you guys watching this video up until this point. I look forward to seeing you guys next month. Take care. Bye.